Despite it being recorded that this was the best ever year for GCSEs, I think it's much more accurate to describe it as the most split year. There's no doubt that many people did super well, and there were more high grades than ever before, but actually there were many other people who also didn't do so well, and they maybe felt even more isolated by the fact that so many people were doing well around them. Either way, it's definitely a really weird year with coronavirus grades and not doing the exams and having these predicted, so I wanted to make a video addressing both camps, those who are super happy with their grades and those who maybe aren't so much, about what to do next, how to feel, everything like that. Use the timestamps to find the right sections for you, because it might be really annoying to watch the section that's not for you, but I would encourage you to watch the summary at the end, because I think the points there are applicable to everyone in any situation. Okay, so let's start with if you were really happy with your results and you feel that you've done really well. First of all, congratulations. I'm sure you absolutely deserve them. It's been a tough year, not just academically, but also mentally. I don't need to go into it, I'm sure you exactly know. I was working at a school in my gap year, all the way through with GCSE students, mostly doing their maths with them. But I would see classes that would have to self-isolate because someone had a positive corona test for 2 weeks, whatever it is. Then one day they go back into school, and then the next day someone else tests positive, and this basically happened maybe 2-3 times in a row. So basically they're having online lessons for all of this time. The school I worked at was great, but the online resources they could put together weren't so amazing, and I'm sure they would be happy to admit that. It's just the case for many schools that was the case, and so it's really frustrating for these kids who for sometimes months at a time kind of had no real proper teaching. This is just one personal anecdote that I experienced in the school. I'm sure you have loads others, but the point is, it's been a really disruptive year, so you absolutely deserve the grades you get, and you should feel really happy. You really are owed some satisfaction, and hopefully you've got that. And make sure to take this confidence into your next steps of your academic journey or whatever's next, knowing that you absolutely deserve these, you can get these marks, and just keep that momentum going forward. And now let's talk about if it maybe didn't go so well, where maybe these kind of people need some advice a bit more because it's tougher to know what to do and how to feel. It seems to me that whilst a lot of people have done well, the people that maybe didn't do so well seem to be harder hit than the people who did do well were kind of positively benefited. So basically, if you didn't do so well, I think it might have affected you a bit more, much further the other side than just a bit of an advantage, which is very, very frustrating. If you're in this boat, honestly, I can really empathise. If you watched my A-level videos, number one, I talked about exactly how it was for me with my A-levels, and I was in a similar situation where I didn't feel my grades represented me, I wasn't happy, I'd actually missed out on my uni, and I did some resits and stuff like that, and everything worked out in the end, but I really do understand exactly how you're feeling now. But I think there's two things that make your situation slightly better than it was for me last year. Number one, you guys are dealing with GCSEs as opposed to A-levels, and GCSEs always matter less. So with A-levels, whilst they are quite important to get into university, GCSEs aren't so much, and you'll actually be surprised about how little universities care about them, which I know is weird because you've kind of spent all of year 7 to year 11 working for them, and then kind of actually realising they're not so important, and actually it's just the final 2 years of A-level as opposed to the first 5 years that really count. But it is honestly just true, these grades don't mean as much as you think right now. So not only do GCSEs really not mean that much, whether good or bad, you should take solace in the fact that this year they'll mean even less. There's two main reasons for this. Number one, in general, people will know that these grades weren't done properly. Universities in a few years will remember this, and although these grades do technically mean just as much as normal, it's very natural that the universities will still take that with a pinch of salt and be thinking, okay, well, they didn't actually take these papers, so maybe we're going to put even less pressure on the GCSEs of a candidate we're looking at for university, and more pressure on the personal statement, the A-level grades, whatever else they look at. And number two, which is even more important, is just this massive grade inflation. Basically, so many people, for a variety of reasons, mostly fair to be honest, but nonetheless have had their grades vastly inflated. People are doing way better than ever before. There are more 9s, 8s, 7s, basically any grade given than ever before. Basically, what this means is the grades are kind of just worthless. Whichever grade you want to choose for this example, if there are just more people getting it, it kind of means less. And the people who maybe didn't get those, they should still not necessarily think, well, now there are even more people getting above me than ever before, but you should kind of think that in general, less pressure will be put on these GCSEs, like I've said, because they're just not a good indicator either way. It is officially true that these grades will be treated exactly as normal, but you have to understand in reality that the system didn't work perfectly. There were problems at both ends. Some people benefited, some people didn't, but everyone is wise to that, and they will judge these things accordingly in the future, which you really should take some comfort in if you felt you were underrepresented. people will remember how these grades were done and realise that they weren't fair for everyone. The last thing to note, if you got bad results that you aren't quite happy with, is I went through all the options you have if you didn't get the right A levels for you and you want to do something in my last video, and all of these are the exact same for GCSE. Just replace the word A level with GCSE and the list works perfectly for you. The dates on some of the exams and some things like that might be slightly different, but go give that video a watch if you think it will be useful, because it's far from over that these grades are your grades. You can do remarks, resits, plenty of options, so do give that a watch if you're interested. If you've watched my positive message and my negative message, you might think these things are kind of hypocritical and they can't work both together, but I really don't think that's the case. I maintain that these grades kind of mean less than ever, and it's just a matter of perspective. If you're at the top, take your amazing grades, you really do deserve them, and just take that confidence to your next step. And if it didn't quite work out for you, take comfort, like I say, in the fact that actually it really doesn't mean that much. That's still the case, and it's just a matter of mentality. How to deal with it next. If it's good, there's positive vibes, take them. If it's not positive vibes, then ditch them and just move on. If you came from that video of mine about A-level results, which blew up, thanks so much for staying. Very happy to have you. And literally, please, whatever you want me to make videos on, I'll make whatever is popular. So please do comment exactly what you want, because now I've got all these new people watching, and whatever you guys are wanting, then I'll make, because why not? I answer every comment, so please do comment and I'll definitely say thank you and reply. So yeah, please do. In October I will make videos about Oxford life, everything like that, because I'm going. But in the meantime, if you want videos about the Oxford journey, preparation, just results, more videos, whatever, let me know. I actually just came back from the Isle of Wight, where I was leading a camp for 2 weeks for year 9 and 10. Got back literally today, made this video, so I'm quite tired, but I wanted to make it. And if you enjoyed it, please do subscribe, stick around. I think maybe that's the least you could do for the fact that I'm up right late. Maybe you can see it's dark filming this video to get it out on GCSE Results Day. But apart from that, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.